Hello, we've got another exciting plugin for you. This is from Excite Audio and is the Bloom Drum Percussion plugin, courtesy of Plugin Boutique. Now, for a guy who doesn't really use loops that often, can this plugin win me over? Let's find out. Welcome back to Sounds from the Shed. Now, I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really like to read a manual, as you know, and so I want some very quick wins from plugins. I want it to be easy out of the box. And this one took a little bit more digging, but has some very fun features that you can find very easily with very little knowledge. Alright, this is what we get when we open up the plugin. We've got this strange cylinder thing that kind of makes you think of Play School. I'm not entirely sure how this links to the sounds that are played, but it looks kind of cool, so we'll stick with it. Down at the bottom we've got 2 octaves of triggering notes that match with our MIDI keyboard. So we've got all these loops. The black notes are control those different notes. So we've got one that will make it half time, another that will make it twice as fast. We've got one that will reverse it, which I think I will use quite a bit in things. We've got another that will make it go up an octave or down an octave. Then we've got some built-in loop sequences, which we just hit, and off they go. We've also got these 4 parameters that we can use. We've got lo-fi, so if we get this sequence going, give you an idea of that. We've got slap delay and drive, which will add a bit of saturation or distortion. And then we've got a multi-delay, which might just send you insane. Up at the top we've got a whole ton of presets that we can pick from. We've got the basics, experimental and so on. There are loads in here. If you particularly like one, you can very easily favorite it and then find it in your favorites for easy access later on. Next to that, before we get to that, we can change our key that we're going to be playing in. Some of this is tuned percussion, so will matter more. Then if we hit on this next knob, we get a whole load of presets that we can just drag and drop an entire preset down to the bottom. So this has got our mixed loops, and what it'll do is apply that sequence to the particular sound set that we've got. So you can hear it sounds slightly different, but that's because of the instruments that we've got. You can just drag and drop particular loops that you like. So here we've got a single loop. We can drag that to anywhere we like, and it makes that particular loop change. And it'll keep going for a while. Next up we have the classic dynamics. We can add some noise to it. So if we get that going again, we can add a bit of dynamics. You'll see that these are actually moving with it, and that's because it's programmed in. We'll come to that in just a moment. Next up, we've got our edit. This is where we can go into the particular samples and really work at those if you want to. Now, it might be that you just go, they're fine as they are, but if you want to tweak some particular things, there is a whole ton of features that you can use. You can extend the sample to be the entire thing, or if you like a particular part of it, you can use that. You can reverse it, you can make it go backwards and forwards, you can do an infinity loop, or you can make it just go once. You can change the way that it's triggered. So here we've got holds, so that means I need to actually literally hold it down for it to work. Or you can do a one shot, in which case I can just trigger it by playing that. Now, it might be, there's different reasons for using those. You may want to have the whole button because you only want to use half the sample, but later use the whole sample, and you can adapt that as you will. It might be you always want to use the whole sample, in which case you can just change that parameter to one shot, and there you go. You don't need to mess around with it. Down at the bottom here we've got dynamics, which you can go into more detail if you want just by hitting that little button in the corner. We've got the reverb and a whole load of options with the hall, the plate and the spring, all the classics. And again, you can go into more detail of that if you want. And we've also got the noise section where you can add in all sorts of interesting noise. We've got a campfire. Let's put it into, let's put it into number 9. And you can hear it there in the background. Just a little bit more texture. And again, you've got some more parameters for that. And then we've got our global. How much of the original signal we want in, how much of these effects along this part. And again, we can adapt the lo-fi, slap delay, and so on from this section. Here we've got a sequencer. We can make that go full screen if you really want to get into it. So these are our A, B, C, D, and E. So our black notes up here. So you'll see this particular sequence. But you can easily add in a whole ton of other stuff if you want. Obviously, you can then get recording. So if we hit our record button, so that's essentially it. On one level, it's pretty straightforward. You've got your 2 octaves of triggers, you've got the effects on those, you've got your black notes, which you can either do your sequences that you've chosen, or you can make it jump up an octave, reverse, and so on. You've got tons and tons of presets that you can use. I forgot to mention earlier, you can also drop in your own samples if you want to. You just drop it into the box here, and there's your sample. But of course, if you really want to go on to town on these sounds, you can. There are so many options. So like I say, I'm not a man who uses loops a whole ton. There are some songs that I'll be working on for some kids albums that will need some loops and some samples, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun playing around with this. As always, drop your comments below. Let us know how you found the Bloom Drum Percussion plugin. Maybe even share some of the songs that you're working on. Thanks so much. See you again soon for some more sounds from the shed.